the entry price for any other project is $5 million for any apartment you can get.
Water facing.
Right. So if his investment decision was overtaken by emotions and feelings, that's good. It means that property delivered more value than he expected. Let's say rent in Dubai Mall is 10 times higher than rent for bigger space in JVC, right? Why nobody's comparing these two? So the same you have here, the same case. It's actually bigger footfall than Dubai Mall, because Dubai Mall has 110 million visits. Right? It's everyone who lives in Dubai, every employee working in Dubai Mall crossing the doors of the mall, right? So it's 110 million visits. Let's say we need to build the biggest airport in the world, 270 million passengers capacity, right? What will be built and where is not to ruin one project in the sake of another project. You want to see a doctor, you don't go just to any doctor, right? You always ask like,
reference.
Who is here, references, background, etc.
So when I first started my YouTube channel back in those days, when I started talking about how to become a lawyer in Canada, is because I was doing that process and I wanted to educate everybody. And that's what I have always been attracted to, is the educative content when it comes to the YouTube specifically. I like people who get into in detail, in depth analysis, and they just don't keep the information for themselves. They like to share it. And this is what I, encountered in one of the videos that I was exploring about one of the areas here in Dubai, which is Dubai Expo. I was really bullish about this area because I feel as an investment, it's a very good investment area, and we will talk more in detail. But the person I have with me today is Mr. Kamil. He's a seasoned investment advisor and a broker here in Dubai real estate market. He's doing very well in terms of that particular area, and his YouTube video gave me so much of insight about that market, and I will share the link for your reference also in the description box. But as a person, I really like people who give this kind of information. We are going to understand this side of Dubai, the Dubai South, the Dubai Expo City area with him. We'll understand his background, and we'll, get those details which nobody in today's world shares so easily. They want that maybe you first get in consultation with them and then later on. And some people I feel don't even have that information. So let's talk to him. Kamil is here with me. He will join us in the conversation and we'll dive deep into it. So let's go. So thank you, Kamil, for being on the show and joining us today. I'm sure you're fully booked with all the calls after the Arabian Business News article. So just let's start with your background. As I know, because you're into the investment side, so I'd like to deep dive into it and understand a bit more about your background.
Thank you, Shireen, for having me. And yes, it's something that came naturally with me. When I moved to Dubai, having in my background 10 years experience as the CEO of investment group. Then for 1 year, I've been Minister for Investment in one of the Russian regions. Then I've been in charge of building a new city from scratch for 300,000 residents in Far East of Russia as the head of the project and to develop the strategy for the place. When I moved to Dubai, it was, no question for me, like what I'll be doing here, because you have investment and development background. So what would you do in the best real estate market in the world, right? So I understood that, from my previous background, I know that if you want to succeed somewhere, you should focus on things that you do better than others, because each of us has what is called unfair advantage, right? So my advantage compared to Realtor trying to give investment advice is that I have this background, and I've been managing people's money. I've been on government side regulating this industry, right? So with all that, I'm always more preferred choice than a realtor when it comes to investing in real estate. But I separate these two processes, and I see that real estate investing and home buying are very different.
Yeah.
And in home buying, any realtor will do better than I do, because I don't have that patience, to pick the layouts, whether the client likes the, the colors, the sizes, etc. It's a bit different mind that you need to, to make a client comfortable, to give him more emotional connection and feedback. Because what I'm good at is, figures, numbers, calculations, profits, margins. So that's my side. And I always lose if I try to play that home buying game. So that's basically what I do in Dubai.
Yeah, that's very good. Actually, you know your skill set and then you are commercializing that. That's, I think, one of the God sent skill to you, because obviously so many people are mixing up this profession. I feel in terms of anybody feels that it's easy to be a real estate advisor, broker, but I feel it's a specialized field and you absolutely need the knowledge of the market and the figures, numbers, profits, as you said. So when it comes to investment goal, I, in my experience, have witnessed this, that sometimes you tend to mix the investment goal. Sometimes you buy a property, say for investment, but then you end up feeling that you might be living in it. How do you deal with that kind of situation?
Well, that happened to me several times. I say investments, they are like fruits. You don't rip it off the tree before it's ready, or you don't leave it on the tree when it's ready, right? So you have entrance and exit points. So when we are entering, like one of the best examples was with canal front residences in Dubai Water Canal, which is a billionaire row. And like 4 years ago, everyone knew that these are abandoned buildings standing on Sheikh Zayed Road, and there is no progress in construction. So that was a frozen project for some time.
Yeah.
And at the moment when 𝐦𝐻IL took charge of the construction and delivery, and they merged with Meydan, we entered the project with some of my investors. We bought some apartments there, and we were buying at less than 3.2 million for 2-bedroom units with 1,500 square feet.
Wow.
So now that same units, well, it was in end of 22. So for less than 2 years, it's close to 6 million, the market price. And when the property was delivered, those investors whom I was persuading that we need to buy these abandoned buildings, because if 𝐦𝐻IL is there, if it merged with Meydan, and it will be eventually handed over. And that was the cheapest price per square foot in that particular area, where the entry price for any other project is $5 million for any apartment you can get.
Water facing.
Right.
Yeah, on the canal.
Because it's a unique location. Yeah. It's cut in Jumeirah, the only freehold zone, right?
Yeah.
You have literally 5 minutes to everything, to the beach, to the outstanding schools. You have walking distance over there. You have 5 minutes to the IFC, 5 minutes to Dubai Mall. You are living on a waterfront properties, and it's a very scarce and very expensive strip of land. And entering at that price that canal front residences then promised was, the proper entrance point, or just to illustrate the example. And when you need to exit is, let's say in this case, it was before the final payment, it was 40%. So the demand was already there, because people see that they're closing facades, that they do the glassings, the project is being now having nice look. So at that time, prices surged. People see that this will be delivered, and they were eager to get something there. And you need to exit before the final payment to have higher return on equity. But this thing that you mentioned happens, and people like, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe I like the property, I like the place.
Yeah.
I cannot buy for this money anything here. Maybe I do investment somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was saying that, I was trying hard to persuade you that we need to buy an abandoned building. Now I'm, having a hard time to get you out of the project. Yeah. But that's, and of course, that's a funny part of, working with international buyers. But again, if I think if someone wanted a property because of investment appeal, and then he keeps it for himself, it's not the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is the frustration between what investor expected and what was actually happening with the property or with the promises of broker. So if his investment decision was overtaken by emotions and feelings, that's good. It means that property delivered more value than he expected.
But what about the exit point then? The exit, sometimes you are at the peak and then you should exit.
Well, yeah, I think that this area will still see further appreciation. So I'm saying that if you miss this train before the final payment, then just relax. In another 2 years, that area will see another at least 30% appreciation, because the highest add-ons to the price are made not right on handover, but when life comes to the area. Let's say, take an example of Blue Waters or City Walk. When all the commercial spaces start functioning and operating, I mean restaurants, cafes, etc., F&B, that's when crowds are in the streets.
Yeah.
And that's when end users or those who want that property for the lifestyle, that's the point when they are coming. And that's the reason why they're willing to pay premium. If there is life, if there is something emotional about the place, then that's another point where you do premiums. That's why I'm saying that it's not a good time now to sell. If you already made the final payment, wait for the next train. Next train will be coming with the cafes, restaurants, etc. Usually it takes 1 years after project handover for them to start operating.
So you need to be patient.
Sure.
And in terms of investment, I also feel one needs to be visionary. Like, see what you are doing right now with the Expo area, the way you show it, the way you portray it. Only then will somebody get a look and feel of what that is going to be. I saw in one of your Instagram videos that you said that 6,000 people are going to be there for the exhibition in 2026, and there are only about a couple of units, like 300, 400 units, I think. So that is when, that is the selling point of that place, because you need to have vision, right? So how do you help your clients in terms of forcing that situation, that this is what is going to happen here?
Well, the figures and the facts I'm sharing, it's not some hidden knowledge, right? The analysis you need to make as someone advising your clients is, when you get this data from open sources, and you just combine it, compile it in a way that it makes it allows you to make some conclusions, right? So on the site of World Trade Center, you have all the data. What was the performance for 24? What will be the performance when they finish their expansion? Because the expansion budget is around 10 billion dirhams, right? They're building one of the biggest in the world exhibition centers, and with the biggest footfall. Another interesting figure, by the way, is that by 2030, the overall number of units, I mean, the hotels, all the residential projects launched by far will be around less than 2,000, 1,800 something. Because we have 3 projects with
for that entire master plan?
For this phase, till 2030, because we have launched Al-Waha residences, a recent one. It's actually a conversion of the buildings that were built for export. They were converted into residential. That was a very wise decision, because as the urban planning practice shows, when you have purely business district, they are busy at daytime, they are dead during evening in a city. So when you are mixing it with residential or with commercial, like what you have in DIFC, right? Yeah. When you have nightlife and you have daytime, you have offices. It's either this case or you are mixing it with residential properties. So Al-Waha adds another 247 units, and we have approximately 400 to 500 units in 3 projects, Mangrove Sky and Cedar. So that in total, together with the hotel, which is 330 rooms, is something less than 2,000 units. Even if you pack two 2 people in each of the unit, it means you can accommodate 4,000 people, right? By 2030. That's your total supply. And on demand side, starting from 26, World Trade Center just moves all the operations, and you are not inventing anything. You're just
moving.
You just extract that traffic, that footfall you have today, not experimenting, not building something from scratch, right? Moving it there instantly, it means 2.5 million visitors, right? 300 events.
Yeah, like Gulf Foods is happening right now, and we can see how 𝐻𝐸𝐴 is blocked.
Try to rent something near the World Trade Center today. You will see what are the current rental yields. It will be 3 or 5 times higher, anything in walking distance compared to ordinary rent, right? So it means that if you break down, like what is a 2.5 or 3 million visitors for 300 events per year? It's 10,000 people daily for 300 days in a row, right? Because each event also duration is from 3 days to 1 month. So it means they will be overlapping. There will be days when you have 20,000 people in the area, right? So to be conservative, imagine that it's 10,000 people for 300 days in a row. That's when your property is demanded. You have 85% occupancy rate almost guaranteed by this traffic. And with the current rental yields that you can compare in Row Hotel, which is from 1,000 to 4,000 dirhams per night.
In Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even before the World Trade Center moved. It's based on the current traffic, right? So if you take the bottom line and you will be renting out 1-bedroom unit for the price of a studio in a hotel, which is 1,000 per night, you will be making at least 15% from your property cost per year in rents. In a best case scenario, it's more than 20%. So there is no other project, no area in Dubai that ever offered these kind of returns. That's why it's easy to make decisions on buying, buildings, buying whatever properties you have there, because it's business asset. It's not an apartment you are buying. That's another mistake that people do. They start comparing prices per square foot
to an apartment
of these apartments with any other areas. And I'm saying that you are not in the proper frame. You're not comparing. You're not buying for your personal use. They're comparing to other areas I don't want to name. And I can buy there a townhouse. I can buy an apartment for 2 million dirhams. So if you go to Ajman, you can buy a villa, right? But you're not buying a number of bricks. You're buying like a commercial property. And when you're buying commercial property, what you care for is footfall against your rent or your price. Let's say rent in Dubai Mall is 10 times higher than rent for bigger space in JVC, right? Why nobody's comparing these two? So the same you have here, the same case.
Yeah, that's right. So in terms of those buildings that are there, which are residential mix, right? Commercial and residential, you think those are going to go for short-term or long-term rentals? You mentioned vision, but it's not us, the advisors, to have the vision. It's the product creators, right, who have the strong vision and that have enough strength to enrich this area with different kind of demand. His Highness has a strong vision for this particular area, for Expo. And it's his attention and focus that allows these kind of moves when World Trade Center moves, when company headquarters move there, when the whole area is a free zone, right? So from companies like Siemens, Nestle, Engie, etc., you will see a strong demand for long-term rentals. You can rent your apartment to a company, make a 5-year contract and forget about it, right? So that will work in a balance, but when you speak about 2030, it's one kind of talk. But when you say, guys, it's not something regular case. When you show sand and you say they plan wall here, they plan this thing here, and demand and supply gradually coming up in the area. It's when one part is ready, demand is there, people are waiting, zero properties, zero supply. So that's the strength of vision and resources that, let's say,
sheikh's attention can allocate to the area. So that's why it's the properties. When we are talking about 26, these will be on the highest demand on short-term rental market. Because, as I'm always saying, if you want to do tier 1 investment, do business with tourists.
Do business with?
With tourists.
Yes, sir.
Because we know that rental yields in general in touristic areas can be 10 to 12% in short-term rentals. It will be 6 to 9% best case for residential areas, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there will be some appreciation for selected projects in a very selected, areas. But in general, with touristic areas, it's very simple. With short-term rentals, very simple. If your asset generates 10 to 12%, then you can calculate what will be the price of this asset on secondary market. So that's why I'm saying that, yes, in 26, it will be strong demand in short-term rentals. This strong demand will be there at least till 2035, because expansion of World Trade Center means that we have 2.5 million visitors from 26 till 2030. If it's not even growing, still same, which means we need to accommodate 10,000 people per day. And while we just reach the point where demand is 2 times higher than the supply, not 3 times higher, right? When we're just reaching this point by 2032, World Trade Center is even expanding, and it will have 6 million visitors, right? That means this gap will stay there. And just to give you a perspective, in Dubai, the population is 3.8 million people.
Yeah.
We will have 6 million visitors over there. It's actually bigger footfall than Dubai Mall, because Dubai Mall has 110 million visits.
Yeah.
Right? It's everyone who lives in Dubai, every employee working in Dubai Mall crossing the doors of the mall, right? So it's 110 million visits.
Yeah.
So if you try to understand how many unique visitors you have, let's assume that every one of us per year went there, let's say 20 times. That will be 5.5 million visitors, right?
Yeah.
Here in the exhibition center, you will have 6 million visitors. So it's you have an opportunity to buy apartments in 200, 300 meters from comparable footfall to Dubai Mall.
Yeah, right. That's a good perspective, actually. Yeah, that's why I think people come to you for that particular advisory, because you start envisioning the same. And when it comes to Expo area, what I saw is in the master plan, it's a phased project, but for sure the government is investing there. What are the key factors, ancillary factors besides the exhibition area that you feel are going to help this area grow?
I'm saying that, a lot of Russians coming to Dubai, they think that Dubai consists of 3 places. It's airport, it's Dubai Mall and downtown, and it's marina. That's it. And everything else is an empty space. So it's because marina been the main gates for tourists.
Yeah, and so is downtown.
Now we will have the same for business people coming to Dubai. With my experience in urban planning, and with Expo being in 4 minutes from Al Maktoum Airport, I can tell you that business people, for whatever reasons you have in Dubai, it will be the first gate how you see Dubai. So in 5-10 years, for business tourists, it will be the same case as for tourists today with Marina. They will think that Dubai consists of Expo, DIFC, and airport.
Yeah.
Because this area has a free zone status. It has villas, townhouses, it has residential districts, business districts, all kinds of
it has greenery, it has so much of forest.
It's the only LEED certified urban plan and sustainable community in region, not in Dubai. I mean, it's very expensive and hard task to solve, actually, to be certified as a sustainable community. So that's why I'm saying that you are not relying only on exhibition center, because exhibition center is one of 4 streams of demand, which is, let's say we need to build the biggest airport in the world, 270 million passengers capacity, right? Let's not talk about passengers, let's talk about the task. If we need to build that, how many tens of thousands of people you need to bring all over the world to build that thing, right? So where they are staying. First stop by metro in 4 minutes is Expo. Next stop in 15 or 20 minutes is Marina, where you can get actually Airbnb units.
Yeah. So the closest is the Expo.
Correct.
Okay.
Because if you are here for 1 week or for a couple of months to do part of your job, you don't want actually to rent villa, townhouse, to rent a car to get there, right? And you don't want to be sitting there as Robinson Crusoe in the middle of nowhere. You want a ready area where everything is in walking distance, including entertainment, shopping, dining, everything. And you don't want to rent a car in Dubai if you are here for a short-term stay. So that makes a lot of sense. Another stream of demand is not everyone understands that Expo is the only area where you can have the biggest entertainment events.
Yeah.
We have Expo Arena, which will be the only place where you can have a concert for 50,000 people, for 100,000 people attending, rave festivals, concerts, etc. So
Yes.
all that people also need place to stay.
That's right.
And they have the same options, either in Expo or 15 to 20 minutes travel to next Airbnb choices. Then you have people in offices. We have 4,000 employees today sitting in headquarters. Imagine when that number grows to 35,000, it means that every company, let's imagine someone like Siemens, they have company office and Siemens Energy is also there. A company like that needs people coming abroad to whatever business purposes.
Yeah,
to that
director needs
headquarters,
offices. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
1 day, 3 days, 1 week. So again, where these people are staying, right? And when you have 300 companies like that, the international corporations headquarters, it means a constant stream of traffic, like you have, let's say today in Dubai, in downtown or in Business Bay. When these business people need to stay somewhere because the headquarters of the companies they work for are in this area.
Yeah.
So we have overlapping demand from different categories. We don't even talk about residents of the area that need to, that are full-time working with any business that sits in this place. The total capacity, if I'm not mistaken, of all the residential units that will be built, it's something like to accommodate 35,000 people, which is the same number as you will have only in offices sitting in the area.
Yeah.
Not talking about exhibition center, about
People who come there every day.
Yeah, about all that streams of demand. Everything what I mentioned is the streams of demand. They create demand for short-term stays. And we are not even tapping on these 35,000 employees that also need accommodation in that area.
Yeah. But when I saw your video, I happened to see another video which was talking about, and I would like your point on it, is that being so close to the airport is sometimes not a very good sign also because of the sound, the plane sounds that come all the time, and nobody wants to be in that sound zone always. I think it's in the red zone or something like that. I'm not sure.
When you don't want to go deep into details and to understand the issue, then you throw around random judgments. So okay, airport.
That's where I wanted your perspective.
Yeah, airport is close to the area. Now you have an airport in this city, so you can look at it and understand what will be happening here. If you are feared of noise, where's the noise currently? If you compare that to DXB airport, noise distribution is in a direct line with landing line, so that the planes they are landing in a straight line and taking off also in a straight line. So their engine noise is coming in this line. It's not going on sides, right? Noise distribution is in this line. So if you are fearing the noise, just draw these lines on the map. These lines will be aligning with the noise of the aircrafts. But if you look on the plan, you will see that the last landing line will be in 1.5 kilometers from the Expo area. So it means, and the lines that you see on the plan that are close to Expo, these are aircraft parkings. These are not landing and takeoff lines. Right?
Okay.
So people see lines, they don't understand what these lines are, and they make judgments. Well, if you don't understand something, it's better not to talk about it before you understand it, right?
That's right.
So when you are calling a parking line, when you're calling it a landing line, you're ruining trust in your knowledge. So that's why I'm saying, if you're fearing any kind of, project, if you are fearing that the project will be ruined by any kind of airport interference, you should keep in mind that the chairman of the area is the same person who is the chairman for Dubai's civil aviations. So they are well aware what will be built and where, as not to ruin one project in the sake of another project. They know better than us, and of course they are well-educated, well-competent people, is not to make these, very simple mistakes.
Yeah. So before we, close the podcast and say bye to you, we would like to know 3 top investment advice that you give your clients and for our viewers today.
Well, I always say, make investment decisions as you do decisions regarding your health. Let's say if you have an issue, you want to see a doctor, you don't go just to any doctor, right?
Yeah.
You always ask
reference.
Who is he, references, background, etc. Because the cost of mistake is high, right? So in investment, you use the same frame. Like if you're taking someone's advice on how to allocate $500,000, $1 million, right? You cannot do that randomly. At least you should ask a person who's giving you advice, what is your relevant background? If you're advising me something, what is it standing on? Is it something that you did in investment field before? Or is it, let's say, from the beauty sphere, right? Your relevant background, how you now make investment advice. And that's arguable, but at least I would do this before following some advice. And second thing is that people should understand that Dubai market is very different from any other market for real estate. And people come with the same frame in the head that if I buy the best project in the best area, that will be the best returns. It doesn't work that way, because anything for investing is very different from anything for living or anything for renting out. And, that's a completely different set of projects.
Yes.
Yeah. So to understand the frame, why you're investing, to understand whose advice you're following, and then to make the decision. That would be my advice, how to approach the investment issue.
Okay. And lastly, what do you think about Dubai recession? Is recession going to hit the Dubai real estate market? As you know, everybody's talking and it's a trending topic, so we have to cover this as well.
I stopped arguing with clients regarding, these issues, etc. I'm asking, okay, what is your forecast? What do you think will be happening?
Yeah.
Whatever is the answer, like the market will continue growing, the market will stop, the market will crash. I say, you can prepare whatever scenario you have in your head, you can prepare for that. You can invest in the assets that will hedge you against these risks that you are fearing. If you are expecting recession, then it's not something forever. It has its timeline.
Yeah.
So you invest in the properties that will allow you to survive this downturn and will make you profits when the market recovers.
Yeah.
If you are expecting further growth, these are different assets. You invest in these kind of readiness stage, this kind of project, etc. So my personal opinion is that Dubai doesn't fear any kind of crises happening in the world, because Dubai benefits from it. Dubai is a new Switzerland for the capital, for money, for millionaires, right?
Yes.
Switzerland was in the middle of, there was World War II. Switzerland was the only place where that was not affected by any war or any confrontation, because that was agreed to be the safe haven. So now, if Dubai is agreed to be the safe haven for any kind of parties around the world in confrontations, then Dubai is not fearing any world crisis. The only danger I see, possible danger and possible scenario when market can stabilize or go down, is when we will have less people moving to Dubai than we have today, and when the world economy, the other markets where money is coming to Dubai, they will start recovering. They will be offering higher returns.
Better. Let's say everything is idealistic in their countries now.
In every country, out of 89 countries who are investing in Dubai, in every country they will have better opportunities for money. At that time, people might be taking money and going back to the countries to invest there, but that's
highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, at least in the next 5 years to happen. And it's highly unlikely to happen simultaneously in all that countries. So that's the only thing that I see a dangerous situation for Dubai.
Yeah. Okay, Kamil, thank you so much. Thank you
for this talk.
Thank you for sharing all your information, and for everybody looking out for investment advisory in terms of getting and investing in a product, do reach out to him. We'll share his details in the description box, and he's already himself so famous on the YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
Kamil.
much.
Thank you.